Hello, my name is Alex Silva and you're watching Image Weekly, the home of image creators. Today I'd like to talk to you about the newest update that we heard from Adobe, which is about Lightroom. And we heard about Lightroom in terms of this being two versions actually of the software, Lightroom Classic and Lightroom CC. And some people got confused about, how this is going to work. Is Lightroom being killed? Things like that. Well, Adobe already clarified that Lightroom Classic is still being developed. Actually, this update includes new features, but especially performance updates, which were seriously needed. But also, there's a new version. Lightroom Classic is the software we already knew, in which is heavily desktop based, and it has a lot of features there. And which already knew, like the file management, cataloging, keywording, things like that, as well as other kinda not very. I'm not sure if they were widely used, but they required heavy processing, which were like face recognition and things like that. So some of those. This is a great piece of software, which has grown over the years, over the last 10 years, and over time it has been added. Well, some features have been added to it. Well, many features actually, but this has caused some problems with the Lightroom that we already know, which has turned into a bit of a fat and slow program. That's why this newest update includes mostly performance enhancement, and yes, they are better. It works better now. And this may help. This is going to help a lot of people. But Adobe also released a new version of Lightroom, just simply called Lightroom CC, which is cloud supported, actually heavily cloud supported. And by that I mean, well, you're going to see, but by that I mean, some of the features are no longer in the software, but are on Adobe's cloud. You can still manage your collections. They're now called albums, but you don't have to, let's say, manually manage your files in your computer, and you don't need to manually back up your raw files nor your catalog. Everything is automatically synced to the Adobe Cloud. And this may sound a bit strange to some people, but I think it's a great idea, and I'll try to explain why. This is actually a piece of software that I've loved for 6 months. And this may sound kind of strange, but if you take a look at the feature set, and if you have used Lightroom Mobile, you will notice a lot of consistency. And yes, in essence, this new version of Lightroom is Lightroom Mobile. And I have been a heavy user of Lightroom Mobile for the last 6 months. If you have followed this channel in the last few months, you know that my gear was stolen, including my computer, and then I relied heavily on an iPad. And here on iPad, I've been using Lightroom, and I found that it has some limitations. Actually, there's a video about my mobile workflow, but also there are quite a few things that I really like, and I think it's better if I explain. Let's take a look at Lightroom, and you can see here that, well, I already have a lot of albums, but let's imagine that I want to create a new one. Actually, I had a shoot recently, so I want to create an album, and this is about a model called Valeria. Actually, I have two sets of images here. Valeria is a model that I worked with this week, and we had two meetings, actually one for her fitting and another one for the actual shoot with some students of mine. So I have two in my computer, in the iPad, I have two folders with the images for her fitting and for the shoot. And so I have created an album here, and now you can add images from the camera roll. And from camera roll, you can look for specific folders. You can see some of the images from the shoot, but let's take a look at the fitting. And I'm going to import everything. As you can see here. And now that this is working, now that I have him on Lightroom, we'll see. Well, I had already played a bit of a trick, but these images start uploading to the Adobe Cloud, and I don't have to worry about them being backed up. If I open another session, let's say on my phone or on a desktop, the images will be downloaded. The original raw files will be downloaded along with the catalog. So I don't have to worry about syncing or transferring files from one device to another. Everything is available. And I can do pretty much the same things, or most of the same things that I already do with Lightroom Desktop. Let's see, if I want to make some adjustments, let's say to the light, I can adjust the exposure, or I can rely on the auto feature, which in this case was not a very good idea, but you can see what I'm doing here. You can adjust shadows. I want to see more of the shadows, not so much of the blacks. And I can adjust the tone curve. I want a bit more contrast. And I can also adjust the color as selectively as I want. I can select one particular color and adjust its hue, saturation, and luminance. I'm not going to get there. I can adjust optics up to a point because it relies on Adobe's huge library of lenses. There are some features that I don't have here, which are the perspective correction or geometric correction, but also the detailed optics and some other features like HDR things. But those are in the classic. But on the mobile software, I don't have perspective correction, not optics, which are available on the new desktop version. I'm using mobile, but in essence, this is the exact same feature set that I have, or almost the exact same feature set that is available in the newest version of Lightroom CC. And I think if you are fairly new to Lightroom, or fairly new to photography for that matter, you're going to find this version amazing, easy to use, really fast, and easy to jump into, because Lightroom Classic, as we already know, has become, as I was saying, a bit cumbersome to use, not only because of its performance, but also because of the huge set of features that it now has. It's a bit intimidating to start. So that it reminds me a bit of how I felt the first time that I used Photoshop. It was overwhelming. So now I think with this new feature, reduced feature set, you still have a lot of the functions that you want, like selecting images, but also you have most of the post-processing tools that you need. So in essence, you have a great piece of software of new software that you can synchronize your previous or your existing catalog to. But if your catalog is already huge, let's say hundreds of thousands of images, transferring and using the newest version of Lightroom may be a bit difficult. I mean, uploading all those images to the net can be time-consuming, but also not cost-effectively, because Adobe now requires some extra cost for the storage, so it may be a bit difficult. But as I was saying, for new photographers or people who are new to Lightroom, this will be a great option. However, you do need a very good network connection. And the place that I live now has 20 megabit per second connection, both download and upload, so I can synchronize pretty fast. And I'm happy with this version. I actually plan to stay with this newer version and kind of abandon the Lightroom Classic, because it's my current workflow, and it has been my workflow for 6 months now. I'm happy with it, so I'm going to stick with it. I hope this helps you with your decision in terms of what's going to help you. If you're kind of novice and have a great network connection, go with the newest version of Lightroom CC. Or if you are a seasoned photographer with a lot of experience with Lightroom and you have a huge catalog, I think it's better if you stick with Lightroom Classic. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and of course, well, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment please, and sorry, and of course visit my website imageweekly.com, and keep learning, keep shooting.